Today I have the first 2 rounds of a 4-round retro tournament run at Full Grip Games before their Journey Together 4K. These games go quick, but I still wanted to publish them for editing practice and completion. For round 1, our competitors are Riley on Bombtar and Ben on Mewtric. Riley's deck aims to load up a Dark Tyranitar with tons of energy with Electrode's extra energy bomb poke power, accelerating 5 energy from the discard pile and knocking itself out to make use of cards that benefit from being behind on prize cards like Pow Hand Extension and Scramble Energy. Ben's game plan is to set up Mewtric EX and copy its disconnect attack with Mew EX's versatile Pokebody, whittling away at his opponent's Pokemon while preventing the use of powerful trainer cards. Ben's opening hand contains 2 Electric, 2 Lightning Energy, Holland's Magneton, Mewtric EX, and a Mew EX. Riley's starting hand contains a Holland's Transceiver, Rare Candy, Lightning Energy, Larvitar, Magmar, and a Professor Elm's Training Method. Ben wins the coin flip and starts us off. He benches Electric. He attaches a Lightning Energy to Mew EX. He then uses Mew EX to copy Electric's Recharge, searching his deck and attaching a Lightning Energy to Mew. Riley draws and benches Larvitar. He plays a Rare Candy, evolving Larvitar into a Turn 1 Dark Tyranitar. He plays Holland Transceiver, searching his deck for a Holland supporter, finding Holland Lass. He plays Holland Lass, discarding Professor Elm's Training Method and looking at the top 12 cards of his deck, revealing Scramble, Fire, and a Darkness Energy, putting them into his hand. Riley attaches a Fire Energy to Magmar. Riley uses Magmar's Dump and Draw attack, discarding a Lightning Energy and a Scramble from hand, drawing 4 cards. Ben draws for turn and evolves his benched Electric into Mewtric EX. He attaches an energy to Mewtric. He copies Mewtric's Disconnect with Mew's versatile Pokebody, dealing 40 damage to Magmar and locking Riley out of all trainer cards except supporters until his next turn. Riley draws for turn and benches Voltorb. He benches Larvitar. He attaches an energy to Dark Tyranitar. Riley uses Dump and Draw, discarding an energy, drawing 2 cards, and ending his turn. Ben draws for turn and plays Dual Ball, flipping 2 coins. He gets 1 heads, searches his deck for Mew EX, deciding to bench it immediately. Ben attaches Holland's Magneton to Mewtric EX, returning an energy to his hand. He copies Disconnect, taking the knockout and locking Riley out of all trainer cards except supporters until his next turn. Riley promotes Dark Tyranitar and draws for turn. He benches Magmar and plays Rocket's Admin. He chooses to draw 5 cards, and so does Ben. He evolves his Voltorb into Electrode EX. He uses Electrode's extra energy bomb poke power, accelerating 5 energy from the discard pile, knocking out Electrode, and Ben takes 2 prizes. With Scramble Energy providing 3 energy of any type, since Riley is behind on prizes, he uses Bite Off, knocking out Mew EX and taking 2 prizes himself. Ben promotes Mewtric EX and draws for turn. He plays TV Reporter, drawing 3 cards and discarding a Mewtric EX. Ben attaches an energy to Mew EX. He then benches a second Mew EX and uses Switch, returning Mewtric to the bench and promoting Mew. Ben passes the turn. Riley draws for turn. Now free of Trainer Lock, he plays Holland Transceiver, searching his deck for a Holland supporter, failing to find. He attaches a Protection Orb to Tyranitar, removing its fighting weakness. Riley also attaches Heal Energy to Dark Tyranitar for turn. He plays Rocket's Admin, with Riley choosing to draw 4 and Ben drawing 3. Riley uses Bite Off, taking the knockout on Mew EX, drawing 2 more prize cards. Ben promotes Mew and draws for turn. He plays Professor Elm's Training Method, searching his deck and revealing a Holland's Magneton, putting it into his hand. He attaches the Holland Magneton to Mew EX, returning an energy to his hand. He copies Disconnect, locking Riley out of all trainer cards except supporters, dealing only 10 damage due to Dark Tyranitar's psychic resistance. Riley draws for turn and plays a Professor Elms of his own, searching his deck and revealing a Dark Pupitar, evolving his benched Larvitar. He attaches an energy to Pupitar and attacks with Dark Tyranitar's Spinning Tail, dealing 30 damage to the active thanks to Darkness Energy, and 20 damage to each of Ben's other Pokemon. Ben draws and plays another Professor Elm's Training Method, but he fails to find. Ben uses Switch to pivot into Mewtric EX. He attaches an energy to Mewtric and uses Mewtric's Disconnect, trainer locking Riley and dealing 40 damage. Riley draws for turn and evolves his benched Pupitar into Dark Tyranitar. He uses Dark Tyranitar's Spinning Tail, dealing 30 damage to Mewtric and 20 damage to each of Ben's other Pokemon. Ben draws, benches another Electric, and uses Mewtric's Disconnect, dealing 40 damage. Riley draws, attaches an energy to Dark Tyranitar, and attacks with Grind, dealing 60 damage, taking the final knockout, and Riley wins the game. That was a quick one. Though Ben was able to trainer lock Riley as soon as the second turn of the game, Riley's turn 1 rare candy allowed him to start attacking early with the help of Magmar's dump and draw attack, replenishing his hand and stocking up his discard pile for Electrode's powerful energy accelerating Pokepower. On to Game 2. Our competitors are Tommy on Arcanine EX and Sarah playing Nidoqueen. Tommy's deck seeks to set up Arcanine EX with the help of disruption cards like Energy Removal 2 and Houndoom with the Lonesome Pokebody to prevent opponents from playing any trainer cards, and then run them off the board with Arcanine's Overrun and Flame Swirl attacks. Sarah's deck aims to set up multiple Nidoqueen and Pidgeot to take advantage of Nidoqueen's Power Lariat attack to deal massive damage while filling the board with high HP single prize attackers. Tommy's opening hand contains a Battle Frontier, Professor Elm's Training Method, Growlithe, Houndour, 2 Fire Energy, a React Energy, and their additional card from Sarah's mulligan is another React Energy. Sarah's opening hand contains 2 Nidoran Female, 2 Nidorina, Pidgeot, Holland GL, and a Warp Energy. Sarah wins the coin flip and starts us off. Sarah benches a Nidoran. She attaches Holland GL Energy to Nidoran Female. She uses Nidoran's Look for Friends attack, revealing the top card of her deck until she reveals a basic Pokemon. She reveals Holland Mentor and a Pidgey, putting it into her hand. Tommy draws for turn and attaches a React Energy to their bench Growlithe. They play Energy Removal 2, flipping a Heads and discarding Holland GL Energy from Nidoran. They play a Battle Frontier, shutting off all evolved colorless, dark, and metal Pokepowers, and they shift the turn to Sarah. Sarah draws and evolves her bench Nidoran into Nidorina. She attaches another Holland GL Energy to Nidoran and uses Look for Friends. She reveals a double Rainbow Energy, Copycat, Celio's Network, Copycat, Pidgeot, and another Pidgey, putting it into her hand. Tommy draws and attaches a Fire Energy to Growlithe. They play Professor Elm's Training Method, searching for an evolution Pokemon, revealing Arcanine EX and evolving their bench Growlithe. They play another Energy Removal 2, flipping another Heads, discarding Holland GL Energy. Tommy passes the turn. Sarah draws and benches a second Pidgey. She evolves her active Nidoran into Nidorina. She then attaches Warp Energy to her bench Nidorina and ends her turn. Tommy draws for turn. They play a Mary's Request, drawing a card, then drawing 2 more cards because they have no Stage 2s in play. They bench a Growlithe. Tommy attaches a Fire Energy to Houndour, retreating into Arcanine EX. They attack with Overrun, dealing 30 damage to the active and 20 to the bench Nidorina. Sarah draws for turn and evolves her benched Pidgey. She attaches a Heal Energy to her bench Nidorina, removing 10 damage. She ships the turn to Tommy. Tommy draws and attaches a Fire Energy to Arcanine EX. They attack with Arcanine's Flame Swirl, discarding a React Energy as an additional cost, dealing 100 damage and taking the knockout on Nidorina, drawing a prize card. Sarah promotes Pidgeotto and draws for turn. She evolves into Pidgeot, but is unable to use Quick Search due to the Battle Frontier in play. She retreats into Nidorina and uses the Fast Evolution attack, searching for 2 evolution cards and putting them into her hand. She reveals a Nidoqueen and a Nidorina, and passes the turn. Tommy draws and attaches a React Energy to Arcanine EX. They play Professor Elm's Training Method, revealing an Arcanine EX and evolving their bench Growlithe. Tommy attacks with Arcanine's Flame Swirl, discarding a React Energy as an additional cost, and taking the knockout on Nidorina, drawing a second prize card. Sarah draws and attaches a Heal Energy to Pidgey. With no other options, Sarah ships the turn to Tommy. Tommy draws and attaches a Fire Energy to their Arcanine EX. They attack with Arcanine's Flame Swirl, discarding 2 Fire Energy as an additional cost, taking the knockout on Pidgeot and drawing a prize card. Sarah draws for turn and benches another Pidgey. Sarah ends her turn. Tommy draws, evolves into Houndoom, and attaches a Fire Energy to their active Arcanine EX. They play Pokemon Reversal, flipping Heads and bringing up Sarah's benched Pidgey. Tommy then uses Arcanine's Overrun attack, dealing 30 damage to the active and 20 to the benched Pidgey. Sarah draws for turn, takes no game actions, and passes back to Tommy. Tommy draws and uses Arcanine's Overrun attack, knocking out the active Pidgey and dealing 20 damage to Sarah's benched Pidgey. Sarah draws for turn, sees the writing on the wall, and concedes the match to Tommy. That was another quick match. Tommy's combination of speedy Arcanine setup and blocking Sarah's Quick Search Pokepower allowed them to run Sarah off the board before she had any time to stabilize. These games might not have been the most representative of the 2006 format, as most games have more back and forth to them. But like all formats, there's still the chance to have explosive starts or never get into the game at all. Nevertheless, I wanted to use these games to test out a new style of video, similar to that of the folks over at Playing with Power MTG, who I very much look up to. Please let me know what you think of this style of video in the comments, and if you'd like to see more like it. This has been the Holland Scientist. Until next time.